Secret place where there's only you and me. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused and I need peace. Take me home. Take me home. Take me Sometimes life weighs me down. I try to press on. But every time I turn around, it seems like I'm up against the wall. My life's upside down. I need to rest away from all life's mess in your secret place. Say there's only you and me. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused, and I need peace. Take me to your secret place. Take me to your secret Take me to
Hello, everyone. We're live.
Hello.
Did y'all hear my song playing in the beginning? Yes.
That was good. I was jamming.
Is that you singing, Inez?
Yeah, that song called Secret Place. And y'all see I got a beautiful array of guest speakers with me here tonight, okay? Because we get into the topic dating and courting from a woman's perspective. Now, we heard from the men a couple weeks ago, and we replayed it last week just to refresh y'all memory. So now the ladies get our turn, okay? And so right now, all of my speakers are sharing the live. They're sharing the live so that their viewers can see it. And if you're watching, you can click the share button, okay? Share away, tag your friend. We want y'all in on the conversation. We want you to comment, ask questions, etc. So let me introduce this fantastic cast. So first up, we have the phenomenal Miss Danita Sajus. Okay, she is one of my dearest friends, mentors, and oh my goodness, I just love her. She has spent the last 10 years honing her skills as a neuro transformational life coach. Okay, she also does RTT, which is rapid transformational therapy hypnosis. Okay, she is a personal development retreat facilitator, and she specializes in helping people on how to break limiting beliefs. Okay, she is the go-to girl for taking back your life. She and I met through Mary Kay, where she was a Cadillac Pink sales director, senior sales director, and she broke all kinds of records, number one in her class, a rookie. And so I just love her. She's a New Yorker, but she now lives in Florida. And so welcome, and you can follow her, at Danita Sajus. And then her website also is DanitaSajus.com, okay? And so, we're going to plug everybody's businesses up in here, right? We work together in this thing. So
Thank
she
you.
is one of our first speakers. You're so welcome. I'm going to introduce everyone first, and then we'll get in. The next speaker we have is Miss Danielle Marie, another one of my beautiful friends. I got some dope friends, y'all, so just wait. Okay, she's a speaker, she's an author, she's a singer, and she's founder and CEO of We Talk LLC. She is the author of a book I love called My Heart, My Responsibility, and she has a gospel EP out called Led by Love. So y'all can look her up on YouTube at Danielle_Marie as her social media hashtag. And her website is also DanielleMarie.com. She also has a podcast called Moments with Danielle Marie. And she has a new book coming out and some new songs coming out as well, which I'm sure she'll share later when we wrap up. And last but not least, I, of course, met her as well through Mary Kay. She's one of the sister sales directors. And so I just love it. I tell you, you make friends for life, friends for life. And next up, we have, we're going across there. we have Miss Sammy Elliott, and she is a mental health practice professional with an office in Chicago, working on opening up her second practice, y'all. Her mission, and I just love this, her mission is to make mental health treatment affordable for all. And I just love that. I love that. I love that about her. I love that about her heart. She's also a Landmark grad, so I know her from there. And she is working on a gender neutral clothing line right now. And she also has a YouTube channel with her sister, who I'll introduce next, Miss Kira Elliott McCoon. And they have a YouTube channel together. Oh, yes, those are her handles. Thank you. See, my tech team is on it, okay? And Kira and Sammy both actually have a YouTube channel, and it's called Bad ABs. I'm gonna, blurb it out, okay? Clean, but that's a YouTube. Y'all want to check it out, okay? And they do the thing. I was a guest on their show, so thank you all for being guests here tonight. And Kira also has a business, Comfy Fitness, where it's health and wellness and exercise, and she does it virtually. She has a studio as well in Chicago. And she's also a Landmark graduate. She volunteers for People's Lobby, Wolfpack, and she has another business called Kimbra, which I just love to plug. She barely talks about it. But if you're a business owner, like, that is what you want to do, because it helps you with coaching, it helps you with scheduling, it helps you with money, it helps you with contact. I mean, I've done it, and man, I saw the difference. So hit her up for that. And then next we have one of my lovely friends. She and I went to the same high school. We Kenwood Academy alumni, Miss Noemi Robinson, y'all. And she is an attorney, okay? She's a licensed JD, okay? She specializes in family law, health law, entertainment law, contract and regulatory compliance. She also works with Bright Star Community Church and Outreach in Chicago, and she mentors. She's a public speaker, and she can sing too, y'all. She can sing. She can sing, okay? And so I thank you for being here. And last but definitely not least is my girl. Now, she and I, we walked on fire together with Tony Robbins, okay? In the Unleash the Power workshop. This is Miss Rashana Scott. She is a real estate agent, okay, y'all? She's a real estate guru, all right? So anything real estate, you ask her. She specializes in multifamily and single family houses. She's also a savings guru too, girl. I added that to your bio for you, okay? Because she knows how to do the thing, and she teaches financial literacy. I've seen her in action, okay? She's a public speaker. She's a mentor. She also is the CEO and founder of Flip It in Heels. Okay, it's an online community, which is amazing. You can follow her on her hashtag there as well. And she loves to just educate people. She also has a real estate investing company. I told y'all, this is a dope group of women, okay? All ages, all backgrounds. And so I love that I'm able to introduce them to you all. And for those of you who may not know me, I guess I should introduce myself. I am Inez K. Jones, which is at Inez K. Jones on all social media. And I do a lot of stuff. You know, number one is I run this show. So tune in every 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Thursday nights, okay? We get into all different topics, finances, dating. But we have an array of topics, okay? And I have some good ones coming up. And then on Mondays, I do Makeup Mondays live with my Mary Kay. I am a sales director with Mary Kay. I also am a singer. I do the national anthem for the Chicago White Sox and a bunch of other things. That was my song playing earlier. I am a published author. I'm a speaker, a motivator, a business coach, and I am a scholarship consultant. So my scholarship business is Inez K. Jones Consulting, where I help students get scholarship money for college. All right, so we're going to get into it. And so the topic of the night, and if y'all have questions and comments, especially my guys that are watching, we want to hear from you, especially the ones that was on last time. I told them that they better tune in. They said they're going to tune in, okay? We want to talk about this dating and courting topic. And how it came about is because I am back in the dating world, okay? And so I just was kind of shocked at the caliber of what was coming at me, just to be honest, okay? And so it just seemed like dating and courting, just like it wasn't a thing. Like, I'm like, do you not know what it is? Do you not know the difference? Like, hey, you gotta put in some work here. You know, I'm the prize, right? And so, listen, I posted about it on Facebook, and man, the comments went nuts. And I am a solution-oriented person, so I'm like, we got to figure this out. Like, wait a minute, we can't just talk about it. How can we fix it? You know, and Robbie, who is working, she got called to work, so she couldn't be here tonight, but she was like, the men need to hear from men. And so that's why we started with the men, because we're like, I need some men to just pour into them and tell them. And then the women, we're going to come and follow up and, you know, really put it together. So first and foremost, I'm going to have each of you all go in the order that I introduced you all and tell me, one, what your relational status is or has been, right? And if you don't mind sharing your age, you can share. And also what your thoughts are around the dating and courting topic. And so what can we do better? Or how can we just, what do we want to say to the men and to the young women? Because I think they have to hold the bar as well. And that's what came out of the men's one. If you didn't get to watch the men's one, they were like, well, women, y'all hold the bar, you know? I was like, oh, okay. All right, Miss Danita, you want to start us off, girl? Let's go.
So
and you all can come.
I'm Danita. I'm 57 years old. I had to count again. 57 years old.
Girl. You look good, girl.
Thank you. I am a divorcee of 20 years, and I am currently dating. So, on the topic of dating, does courting still exist? My answer is absolutely. You have to know your audience, and then you have to choose accordingly. A lot of us are doing virtual dating, Match.com, Bumble. I think it's called Bumble. I'm not sure. But we have to sort through the profiles. And if you're going in with a sense of desperation or I have to be with someone, you may mischoose. And I was with my boyfriend this weekend and I said, we watched 90 Day Fiance. It's the only show I watch, y'all. And I'm fascinated of the culture conflict, right? But the one thing we were talking about, this idea of sometimes how women move in to be with their partner, move into their house, they move into their house. And so the courting gets interrupted, right? We get interrupted from the courting because we think that we must move in with them or not move in with them. So we're always at choice. And the people that are jumping at you, Inez, may not be your audience, right? Because you can be on social media or dating sites. And sometimes I see some people that are just not my fit, right? And so you get to unhook. You don't have to choose everybody that comes to you. You get to use your discernment, ask some questions. There's a delicious book I will share with you that is everything. It's called Intellectual Foreplay. It's what women do before they jump in bed. Grown-up conversation, y'all.
We need to write that one down. Hold on, wait a minute. Look, I saw Rashada like, wait a minute, let me write that down.
Intellectual foreplay.
Yes, okay.
It's all the questions we forget to ask before we jump in bed. And then we're shocked. Right? It talks about house, morals, sex, appearance. It talks about everything that you need to know before you commit. Questions for lovers and lovers to be. The man that completes this with you, I'm just saying, I buy several copies from my girlfriends and I give it to them. So, and my boyfriend, we've been together a year and a half. He still courts me. He still courts me. Oh. It's whether you want it. Because we're so independent as women, we'd be like, I got that. You want to take out the garbage? No, I got it. Like, I'll do it, right? I was that girl.
I said, preach, Danita. Julie says, preach, Danita.
I was that girl. I was that girl that said, I got this. And we don't leave space for our men. I'm talking to you, but preaching to myself. We don't leave space for them to feel belong or feel respected. And so I'm learning a new journey because I used to be that girl, very emasculating, right? And so I do think courting exists if we know what we're looking for and that we have certainty and we have deal breakers. What are your top 3 deal breakers, right? And they're usually not tangible. It's not the house, it's not the car, it's not his shoes, right? I'm just saying, it's not his shoes. It's usually intangible things like trust, right? Or love, he has to love me. He has to, there has to be connection, right? And so I'm speaking from both sides. It does still exist, and it's up to you to create it.
Yes. Ooh, thank you, Danita. Thank you. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to Miss Danielle. Give us your thoughts and share your relational statuses.
Here I am.
Unmute,
I am.
There we go.
I'm here. I'm Danielle Marie, and I am single again. I was married, and I was also in a very long-term relationship, which I thought was going to result in marriage, and it did not. And so I am single again. I had taken a whole year off of dating, and I just wanted to see myself. So when people would ask me, "Hey, are you seeing someone?" For the first time, I was able to say, "You know what? I'm seeing me." And that was the best decision that I made. I have not gotten back into dating yet, but I am cautiously optimistic. Some days, sometimes it can feel discouraging, but I will say the best decision that I made was getting to know me so that I could understand my value and my worth as a woman, as a person. And in my book, I wrote My Heart, My Responsibility, a single woman's guide to waiting. I didn't realize it at the time, but that book was like God's way of writing to me, through me. And in writing that book, as I go back and I read it and I reflect, I realized, wow, this is some good stuff. I should probably really start to listen to this advice for real this time. And so I'm excited about getting to know someone. It is difficult for me. I find that now that I do know my worth and my value, I have become more selective than I ever have before, which makes me feel like the pickings are much slimmer than they ever were. But I'm okay with that because I'm waiting for and I'm anticipating and I have prepared for what's going to be my forever. And so I'm okay if it takes a little longer than I anticipated. I know that it's going to be worth the wait.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And next up, who do we got? We got Sammy. Sammy, you want to go next?
Hey there. Lost everyone for a second. I don't know if my internet's going in and out, so let's hope for the best here. So my name is Sammy, and I'm 31. I have been engaged twice, married once. I'm currently going through a divorce. I am pansexual and polyamorous. Pansexual meaning that gender is irrelevant in my dating. I just love humans. Polyamorous meaning I have many loves, and so essentially I'm always dating, even if I'm currently in a relationship, and that definitely means slimmer pickings because not everyone can handle that. Not everyone prefers that, but I do. So yeah, as far as courting and dating goes, oh man, let's just say for me, courting is like the very beginning when you're still getting to know someone and you're putting your best foot forward before you really get into those deep vulnerabilities. And then dating is the more committed, like we are moving forward together and we are deciding that. And I would say along the same lines of what I've heard so far from Danita and Daniele is like, yeah, what I always say is the relationship you have with yourself is the relationship that you bring in, so it's what you bring to any relationship is the love you have for yourself. And if that's not there,
That's right.
if you don't respect yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you don't have that worth, then that's what you're bringing to your relationship is that insecurity and that instability, seeking validation from others. And it's just not workable. So yeah, I always encourage people to date themselves first. That's the most important relationship you have.
Thank you. Yes. All right, Kira, then we'll go Noemi and then Roshana.
Hello, everybody. So I am married. I have been married for 3 years. And before getting married to my husband, we were together for 2 years. And marriage was actually something I was never planning on doing. In fact, I always planned on just dating. I thought that I'd have like long-term relationships and that was going to be okay for me because marriage just seemed like a little too much for me for a lot of reasons. And I think in a lot of ways, that's what made me so desirable for a lot of men while I was dating, because I was in a lot of long-term relationships, and and many of them wanted to go to that next level, and I was not interested in going into that next level. In fact, the man I was dating before my husband presently, I was in that relationship for 7 years. And I tell you what, you know, when you're off the dating game for that long, you really have no idea who you are anymore. I went from the age of 25 to 32 in a monogamous relationship. Well, kind of monogamous. We can maybe get into that later. You know, I went for a long time, and I was thinking back in my like college years, like who I was in college, and you know, and not to get too TMI, but I'm a TMI kind of gal. I just loved sleeping around, and so when I was in my early 30s and ready to be single, I was like, I'm gonna get out there, and I don't know who said it. I don't know if it was you, Daniele, but you're man. When you're in your 30s, you're way pickier, and I found myself in that space. And so really it was all about relearning who the heck I was without that partner, without that mate. And it was a really fun adventure, actually. And really, I mean, there was a lot of ice cream and wine involved too. But you know, I took it on. And I ended up, you know, in a relationship with my now husband, but originally with a man who, again, wanted to get married. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'll even set you up with some of my friends who want to get married. But, you know, I'm not interested. And you know what? Like, by the time I decided, actually, this guy's really great, I kind of relate to what Danita is saying. Like, my life was just easier with him in it. Like it was just, everything was just more fun. Everything was easier. He treated me like a princess all of the time, and he still does. And it, you know, every day I wake up and I look at him and I'm just like, oh my goodness, thank God I did that. So, you know, and I think that's all to say also that a lot of this is in the timing. I think that timing is a huge piece of what it causes success or failure, if you want to call it failure, in a relationship, a learning experience in a relationship, maybe. So yeah, that's all I have to say for now.
Yes, thank you. I just love that. I'm getting all teary. She's talking about her man. I'm like, yes. Okay, come on, girl, give it to us, Noemi.
My name is Noemi Robinson. I am 40 years old. I am single currently. And to answer the question, I definitely believe that courting still happens. However, I do believe that women do create the standard when it comes to courting or dating a guy. I also think that there are other factors that kind of factor in with courting and dating, because now we have social media, now we have cell phones, and I said I was 40, so I was born in 1980. So when I first started talking to boys, you know, middle school age, we didn't have cell phones. You actually had to call, you know, a young lady and talk to her and have a conversation. And for me, you know, I like conversations, but I have been able to make the transition because a lot of people prefer texting, so to speak. But I think one thing that is missing is getting to know someone on an intellectual level. I think that people look at the word courting and they just throw it around loosely, and they think, oh, it means dating. And it just doesn't mean that. Courting is actually getting to know someone. Now, the question is, you know, when you're dating someone or, you know, courting someone, what is the purpose? And I think that's another thing that people lose sight of. Are you just doing it to have fun? Or are you doing it because this is someone who you potentially could see yourself with? Or are you looking for something or someone who you know, possibly want to spend the rest of your life with? So I think sometimes that gets a little tangled up. And I think those are things that should be discussed in the beginning, because I think what I see a lot with my friends, particularly, is that people are not forthcoming, and it's important that you're forthcoming with that type of information. So everyone's on the same page, and then whoever is not serious, the other individual who may have been thinking they wanted to get serious, they have the opportunity to decide whether or not they're going to stay in that dating, courting situation. But I do believe courting exists. I do have hope for the guys out there. They're not all, bad. And I look at my grandparents on both sides, my paternal grandparents and my maternal grandparents, had beautiful love stories on, how my grandmothers were courted. So, and I know there are guys out there who are still like that, but that's the standard. So for me personally, if a guy's not meeting one of those standards that I saw my grandfather set, red flag for me. But that's another story for another day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
simple standards like opening the car door, like walking on the outside of you.
Absolutely.
I mean, like pulling out the chair. I mean, chivalry. I was like,
absolutely.
oh, I have to do this.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And you know what's
okay.
funny? And I know I mentioned texting earlier, even now with technology, FaceTime, okay? You may not be able to be with each other all the time, but that works. If you can FaceTime an individual, it lets a lady know that you just want to see her face. And, that to me, says something, means a lot. So, yeah.
Yes. Okay, come on, Rashana. And then I saw we had a question come across, and Isaac agreed and said timing was everything. So come on, Rashana, give us your spiel.
All right. So hey guys. So I'm 28. I think I'm the baby of the group. And I actually just got out of a long-term relationship for like 7 or 8 years. So basically all of my 20s. And I learned a lot in that relationship. Well, I should say just got out of it again, because I feel like, the back and forth can sometimes go back and forth for years. Um, but I learned a lot about myself, because what I realized is that my wants are completely different than what they were. Who I am is completely different from who I was, 7 or 8 years ago. And I definitely still believe in chivalry and courting and dating and things like that. But I also feel like as women, we need to be very clear about exactly what it is we want and what we desire and what we expect from a guy. Because if we don't, like, a lot of them, they, from my experiences, that they just take with what they can. And if you don't, if you're hesitant about something, or if you notice a red flag about something, then you should speak up and say that. Don't just let it go, because how you finish is how you start. I mean, how you start is how you finish, right? And so if you start off with letting a man or woman or significant other get away with little nuances that you don't particularly agree with, but you're in the new phases of dating, so you don't really want to you don't really want to go there yet, or had a conversation, or you're afraid, or what if this person won't like me anymore. But what I'm learning is, hey, stand your ground from the beginning. The right one that is for you will come exactly for you. And I feel as though when it is divine, it flows. When it is chaos and confusion, that's when it's not supposed to be.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, for all of you all sharing your thoughts. And there was a question that popped across. So if we could put that back up and we can answer that question. Tiffany says, what's your thoughts on sacrificing and compromising in a relationship under our dating and courting topic? So who wants to take a shot at that? Let me know.
I'll go.
Danita, you want to go for it?
Go ahead. Who said? That's Naomi.
Yeah. So I think it depends on what level you're in. Can you hear me? I think it depends on what level you're in that relationship when it comes to sacrificing or making sacrifices or compromising. I knew a young lady who was dating a guy and it was serious and they got engaged. And after the engagement, she relocated with him to his hometown. And they eventually ended up getting married. So that was a sacrifice that she made, but they were at that level where she knew they were getting married, and this is something that she did. She uprooted herself from her hometown to be with him. I think it's really important that you assess where you are and where the individual is, the young man or lady that you're involved with, where they are in the relationship. And just have an honest conversation if you're thinking about making a big sacrifice or a huge compromise. And I want to use my grandfather, for example, because I brought them up earlier. It's funny because I was thinking about this story earlier today. So my grandparents met in college at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And my grandfather said he knew when he saw my grandmother. He said that was it for him. He knew when he graduated he wasn't leaving campus without her, because he was from Indiana and she was from Louisiana. So when he got ready to graduate, old school, he went and asked for her parents' permission to to marry her. And my grandmother, being from Louisiana, she was Catholic, born and raised, and he was born and raised Baptist. Now, this is 1951, 52. So back then, if you were Catholic, you married Catholic, and that's just how it was. So my great grandfather told him no initially because he wasn't Catholic, and my great grandmother, she didn't really care, but it's a long time ago. So my grandfather went back to campus, talked to the priest, and took the classes to convert to Catholicism. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should do that, but I remember hearing that story.
That's dedication, though.
Right, but he wanted to marry her, and he said he was not leaving Louisiana. He had a job in New York waiting on him, and his thing was, I'm not leaving here without this girl. I want to marry her. And he went and did that. Now, that is a huge sacrifice, and that's coming from a man who did that. And my grandfather said he ended up loving the Catholic Church. He became the chairman for the Knights of Peter Claver, so he started doing a lot of things with Catholic charities and everything like that. But again, I really think it depends upon where you are. If you're in a new relationship, you be careful about the sacrifices and the compromises that you make for somebody, because it may not be mutual, and that individual may not do the same thing for you. So that's my answer to that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else want to take a stab at it? And I got a couple more questions. Anyone else got a burning answer for that one?
I'll go for it.
Okay, Sammy.
Yeah. So the thing that I'm never willing to compromise or sacrifice in a relationship is really myself. So for me, what that means is knowing who I am and what I stand for, what my values are, what's important to me in my life, and those are the things that I'm not willing to compromise on. So for me, like, where I live is not necessarily central to who I am. My business is here. I wouldn't sacrifice my business because that's very much central to who I am. And my freedom is my number one value. I must be able to do what I want when I want. I do not want a tether. I do not want a chain. That is something I'm not willing to sacrifice on. Also mental health is vastly important to me. And a partner of mine who is not taking care of their mental health that's not something I'm willing to sacrifice either. My partner needs to be actively taking care of themselves, because that is important to me. And if they can't, if they won't, if they're not doing the work to be a better person than they were yesterday, then that's not okay with me. But there are definitely things that I'm totally willing to sacrifice, that I might think for a moment like, I don't know that I'm okay with that. Like, but there are some small things that, if they refuse to take out the trash, but they're willing to do the dishes, like, yeah, I'll be the trash taker outer, because I don't care about that.
Girl, no, they got to take out the garbage. I don't do garbage. No, but you had some great points about the mental health. Like, it's so important. It's so important. And counseling is okay, people. All different ethnicities. I don't know what the stigma is around it. We all need some help We have all had stuff that we have not dealt with properly that we could use some talking through. Okay, so I am an advocate of mental health, you know, and life coaches. Danita's a life coach. Man, my life coaches saved my life. Listen, for real, for real. Okay, all right.
On,
are we gonna move on?
2 seconds.
Yes.
This idea
go
of
ahead.
not losing yourself in the relationship and protecting your values are key to survival, just for your own well-being. And so I agree with you, Sammy. Like, if yours is freedom, mine is joy. I will fight to the end of the day for my joy. I will unhook and hook into relationships and maintain my joy. So knowing your values and what's non-negotiable without losing yourself in the relationship, because I see that with a lot of clients, right? Especially people that are caretakers, go by the label of caretakers, where they marry people that they can take care of, right? And so it's very, very important to understand what values are non-negotiable, and so that you don't lose yourself at the end of the day, because that never feels good.
Danielle, did you want to add to that?
I was just going to say, I think it's important that we're looking at our personal intentions behind why we are making the decision to either compromise. If we're making a compromise because we want to use it as a form of manipulation to get someone to do something else, that's not okay. We should be making compromises because we desire for the partnership to flourish and to grow. And so I think there is some components where we have to look at, why am I making this choice? Am I making this because I feel it's the best for our growth, or am I doing this because I feel like I need your validation, or I'm doing this because I feel like I need you to approve of me, or I'm doing this because of something I need you to do for me? And so I think going back to that value is important. Knowing what are your motives and your intentions for making that sacrifice and for making that compromise. That way you don't later resent your choice.
Oh, resentment's a big one, girl. That's a big one. And
listen, y'all hitting some points.
If you're not ready, you can typically source external validation, appreciation, acknowledgement, affection, accomplishment, and acceptance. The 5 A's. And that's a dangerous game, because they may not have the capacity to fill your cup, and it might not last. And so it's, how do you have to be the source. You have to be the source of appreciation and love and affection. So everything that everyone is saying, I love, it starts with self.
Yes. And one thing, I think it was you, Denny, that told me, is like, you know, your job is to make you happy. It's not their job to make you happy.
That's right.
You have to make you happy first. And so I thought that was great advice, and well thought out. One thing I want to add here is, and I didn't say it, but I'm also a Reiki practitioner, and so is Kira. And what I have learned is, like, energetically, we connect to the significant other. We connect to people that you're intimate with, right? And so sometimes we're not realizing that we're connected energetically to people. And so what I learned is that there is an energetic umbilical cord that has to be detached, so that you can truthfully and, like, clearly, like, let go of previous relationships and hurt. And so, like, you got to be willing to do the work. You know, you got to be willing to do the heart work, the head work, the energy work. Like, it's work, okay? Being human is not necessarily an easy thing, but I love it. I love it. And I love that I'm always learning. I'm always learning. And so the next question I have for everyone is, what to you is dating and courting? Like, give an example of, like, a man that is, like, dating you, or woman or whatever, or courting you, right? Like, give an example. Like, what does that look like to you? So they can, you know, you got to break it down for these people, okay? You got to break it down for them. So we're going to put it in layman's terms, you know, what they should be doing, you know, for the dating and courting. All right, I want everybody to answer this one. And so, Rashana, do you want to start, baby?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump right in. So I think courting is taking time to get to know one another, and really making, so for me, I think a lot of people date for different reasons, right? Some people date just to date. Some people date to pass the time. Some people date to get over a previous relationship. Some people date for marriage, right? And so making it very clear on why you are dating, what your intentions are, as I think I mentioned before. And so you, first of all, you both know that you want the same end result, right? Like, are we dating because we eventually want to see something out of this, or are we dating just to pass the time, or are we both in a season in our lives to where we just enjoy having that company, right? So I believe making having that conversation and making sure that you guys are on the same page, and just dating, having fun, hanging out, going out, doing things, whatever. I think courting is more serious than dating, because the end goal to courting is marriage, is something long term, is something significant, and something to where initially in the initial dating phases you are automatically thinking about the end in mind. So you move. I think that the man and the woman, you move differently because the end that's in mind. You guys have talked about it. You guys know that you're on the same page, and you want to head to. You eventually would like to head to the same place if possible. So that would be my differences, my breakdown between dating and courting.
Okay. Kira, you want to go? Thank you, Rashana. Kira?
Yeah, dating and courting was always kind of blurred lines for me. I was never really sure what the difference was, to be quite honest with you. But then again, I was never really sure when I was dating exactly what I was doing either. Was I dating? Was I courting? I guess dating to me, if I had to answer on the spot, which I do right now, I would say is like dipping your toe in, seeing what's out there. Figuring out what you want. And courting to me always seemed a little bit more like dating with a cause, dating with some sort of purpose behind it, So, inside of courting, I would say that would be the time to say, hey, listen, I think that I want to get married, but I don't think I ever want to have children. So let's have a conversation about how things are going to look if we end up together. But again, I'm not the say all end all to what dating and courting is, because I fumbled my way through dating and courting for the most part. Like I said, when my husband and I dated for the first year, I wouldn't even let him call me his girlfriend, because I was aware that he and I wanted different things. I knew right away that he wanted marriage and children, and that I was not going to play that game. And I told him 3 months into dating that was what was so, and that I would be dating other people, and that I would still like to see him, and this would all work out great. He can date other people too. And and we went on like that for a full year. And then he dumped me, and I was like, oh, wow, that sucks. And so after about a week of that, I was like, I think this one might be the one that gets away. And that's what sort of like spun my head around. And I was like, what am I doing? And went crawling back and said, hey, I think I might, we want to talk about sacrifice and compromise. I think I might want to rethink what I was saying before. And at that point, we were in it with like a cause, and we were courting. That's the way I see it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Listen, and sometimes listen to your friends. But I told Kira, I said, Kira, but you can make a great mom. You make a great wife. Don't cut it out too soon.
Yeah. I know, definitely in my ear. What are you doing? Why are you turning this down?
Welcome, Mark. You're welcome. You're welcome. Come on, Danielle. You want to respond to that one?
Yes, Kira, you're like my sister. I was listening to you and you were like, I fumbled my way through, and I thought, oh my goodness, thank you. It doesn't have to be perfect. Inez, one of the things, I feel the same way when it comes to dating and courting. It's like so serious. Like there's supposed to be this rubric to it. And I love that Kira said she fumbled her way through it. And I like to say, just want to flow with it. You know, like I want it to be something very natural. I think for me, the difference between dating and courting is just simply a decision. It's making a decision to say, I want to be able to move forward with you and exclusively you, and we're moving forward and we're building. And so I just look at it, and I think I used to feel kind of weird. So when Kira said she's fumbling her way through it, because I've been like out of it for a while, I thought, oh, good, because I thought I had to like read more books or write more books. And I'm like, I just want to be able to enjoy and have the energy and connect with someone very naturally and just enjoy it and not make dating such a task. I mean, it's not supposed to be a job. It's just someone that you enjoy. Can I sit on the porch with you? Listen, can I be in quarantine with you? If I had to marry you, can I be stuck in a house with you alone? Like, that's what I'm looking at. I want to feel our connections and our vibes. And so I want to fumble a little bit through it. I don't want to have it all so planned out, because if you try to have it planned out and it doesn't work that way, it's so disappointing. And, you know, I've learned a lot. My toolbox is full now. And so it's just, to me, it's a decision. Do you and I want the same things? Do we want to be married? Do we think we could marry each other? Okay, let's move forward and let's see where this can go.
Yes, yes. Okay, Sammy, then Noemi, and then Danita.
Yeah, so for me, being that I'm polyamorous, you know, having multiple partners, sexual health is a very, very important thing. And for me, I get more emotionally attached to people that I'm having sexual relationships with. So the courting phase for me, or my version of the courting phase, is very important, because like my current partner, we courted for 4 or 5 months before we even started dating. So we were just getting to know each other. We were being friendly. We were hanging out. Like, there was some kissing and cuddling, but there was nothing past that, because, you know, being respectful of my other partner, and you know, and simultaneously, like, if I'm going to bring this person into my group of people, and, you know, if their sexual health is going to be my other partner's sexual health, then that's a big decision. That's a big commitment. So like the courting phase, getting to know someone, getting to know their values, getting to know how they take care of themselves, and whether or not that's someone that I want to invite into my family and my life. You know, it takes some time. So before, you know, for me, dating is kind of the point at where, like, we're having a sexual relationship and we're moving forward. Like, there's a commitment there. There's a health commitment there and a familial commitment there. Like, you're going to meet my family now. So yeah, I would say courting is like Danita was pointing to, like, getting to know someone intellectually, getting to know their spirit, getting to know who they are inside and out before I choose to commit any part of myself or my body to them.
Okay. Noemi, and then Danita.
So I agree with everything that everyone said here. Definitely with Danielle and Kira in regards to the fumble. So it's the third fumbler over here. But yeah, I think courting is more about, you know, dating with a purpose. And I don't like the rules either, or feeling like I'm playing by rules. I like to have fun. And if I'm having fun and you're making me laugh and we're getting along, and, you know, we're not going to like exactly the same things, because that's just, you know, no two people are alike, you know, but, you know, if we can get to a stage where, you know, we want to exclusively see each other and want to get to know each other on a more intimate level, then I think we, you know, step into the courting stage. But yeah, I don't like the rules either, or feeling like, you know, well, what am I doing now? Okay, doing this, and then I got to do that. And I even do it. It makes me overthink, and I don't like overthinking anything. If it feels right, if it feels good, you know, spending time with you, then I just like to, you know, go with the flow. But of course, still have standards as I'm going with that flow. So not necessarily rules, so to speak, but, you know, just, you know, what I'll stand for, what I'll compromise for, what I'll sacrifice, and things of that nature. So yeah, I think that's basically all I have to say about that in a nutshell.
Thank you. And then we had a question come across the screen. So maybe, Danita, you can address that question too. in my text team and put it back up. I think it was Tiffany that asked, how important is getting to know the guy's friend during dating? So Danita, you can answer both questions, please, as we're running short on our time.
After Roshana spoke, I was like, I think the opposite, right? I think that courting comes first and dating comes second. And I sat there and I go, I don't even agree with that. I think it's a dance. It's a constant dance of dating and courting. And my boyfriend Tommy says, I will always nip at your heels. I will continue to court you. And we have date nights where there's no sleepover, right? So Monday, Wednesday, we do date nights and then we're together for the weekends, but we schedule that. So I think it's all a dignified conversation, right? What are your expectations? What are his expectations? And I don't have a fine line. Like Kira was saying, kind of fumbling, and Danielle, I don't have a fine line and I don't go by rule books, right? Thank you, Naomi, for saying that, because I say no laws, rules, but no laws, right? There's no law on how to date, right? Energetically, you can tell, right? And then through this book, you can answer the rest.
Yes, I love that.
Second question, what was it? How important is getting to know the guy's friends? Oh, that's in this book too. Absolutely important. Who you hang around, you are. Okay. And so I think that's super, super important to know his tribe and for him to know my tribe. It's a package deal. And so I think it is important, but there's boundaries in knowing guy friends. There's boundaries on guy friends from the past. I believe that I practice that no exes can re-engage with me. And if they do, I will kibosh it and say, I want to be respectful to my man, so please no longer text, or I put them on notice. I'm dating someone, so please respect X, Y, and Z. So I think it's absolutely important to know both parties with boundaries, right? And so
yes,
with boundaries. Yeah, so that's my answer to that
Thank
question.
you. Thank you for that. And I saw we had C2E Entertainment commented. They were one of the speakers last time. And I saw God's Gift E-Dub said time has to be spent 100. So thank you all for commenting. And if you all have more questions or comments, feel free to comment in. We'll see what we can get in these last few minutes. And I guess I'm just giving my take on it a little bit, my little 2 cents. Because I actually think that dating is, not necessarily exclusive, right? Because you have to decide that you're going to be exclusive when you're dating. And that courting, for me, Danita, courting for me is actually when you're courting with the intent of like exclusivity, and you are like really going in with the intent to wed, right? So this is the person you want to be with. And so a little more serious, a little more, intentional. But then I think there's a phase called wooing, and I think I forgot. Okay, there's the wooing phase. I want to be wooed, okay? Woo me, gosh darn it. All right? Send me some edible arrangements, some flowers, a card, do some little thoughtful things, and love languages are so important. We didn't talk about that, but like my love language is gifting, right? And so if most people's love language isn't gifting, I find, so I find myself having to speak to them in their love language. If it's physical touch, if it's words of affirmation, if it's quality time, if it's, what's the other one? Physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time,
all mine.
acts of service, right? And so I find myself having to like be intentional with that, especially with a significant other or someone who's, a prospect. And so I don't know what has happened. And so for me, in this day and age, I was like, well, especially during this pandemic, well, how are people dating? How are they meeting people? I'm trying to think of how I met previous folks. I'm like, I'm all rusty. I've been out the game. And so I done joined the dating app. I done joined the doggone a dating group, and I'm just like, oh boy, here I go, just diving on in, because I'm ready, right? Listen, I have done the work. I am ready. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I offer, and I know what I want. And so I'm looking for my husband. Okay, so if you out there, you watch it, come at me. All right, let me put my plug in there.
And buy her something.
But seriously, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, well, just a little bit, But no, seriously, I feel like a woman has to know her worth and she has to set her standards. And my standards might be higher than most people's standards. I got a little expensive taste. Not to say that they got to necessarily match my finances. But they got to bring something to the table, right? I really do believe that there is power in that. And I do believe that it's not always age, because I used to think like, okay, well, maybe if I dated older, but it's not always age, it's maturity. Like, it's a maturity, and it's that man for me, because it's that man actually feels like he's accomplished and he's like done his own work, like Sammy kind of said, and is ready. Like, you got to be ready. And so for me, I think it's a little bit of all three that has to happen. It has to occur. And the technology is just not enough. A text message, I don't know, it's just not enough for me. And call me old school or what. And Danita, when you said like, oh, well, the exes, I was like, ooh, well, I can't say that, because I'm pretty much friends with all my exes. I have good relationships, unless they really
the truth about that.
So, but they respect the boundaries, though. They do. They really do. Uh-oh, come on, Danita. Tell me, Danita. Come on, help me out now. Hey, Nia, welcome.
Steve Harvey said this, and when he said it, I was just like, this is it. If you know what a hoopty is,
Tiffany, he has to have a friend.
It's a broken down car, right? In your garage.
Okay, hoopty. Yeah.
Your hoopty.
Yes,
right?
I drove one at one point.
And you want a brand new car. You want a brand new Cadillac or whatever, a Mercedes. You don't have the energetic room to bring in a new something with the hoopty still in the garage, right? So you gotta get rid of your hoopties. When I say get rid, energetically detach. It's not.
Oh, I definitely have done that. Yes.
And you're blocking your blessing because you still got this in your garage. I used to do the same thing.
They out my garage.
Okay. Come on. Bye-bye hoopties.
I have a bunch of hoopties for convenience.
Okay.
I will never get my blessing of my husband, my man, with that energy still in there.
Ooh. Okay.
And are you willing?
You just got to make all your exes hate you, like mine.
You got to block it so it don't block you.
Yeah. Are you willing?
I mean, they just probably still friends on Facebook. They might be watching now. I don't know, but I don't feel like they're taking up space in that regard, if that makes sense.
And some of that's personality too, because Inez, you have a free spirit personality. You're just like, some of that I think is personality. Some people do have the ability to do that without being emotionally attached.
Okay.
Not everybody though.
Yeah. I haven't seen it happen.
Okay, I'm listening though, dude. I promise I'm listening. Okay, we were coming up on our hour. Elder says snaps. Okay, so I want everybody to give maybe their last little 30-second, 45-second, like, what are your tidbits as we're wrapping up on our hour? I always like to be respectful of people's time. And it flies by. We're having so much fun. But I hope this was informational. Listen, I hope y'all share it. I hope y'all comment. I hope y'all @ if you watch later, put #replay. And make sure that you tune in next week, and we'll do those flyers in a little bit after everyone shares their last thoughts, because we got some upcoming shows I want to plug too. So let's go ahead. Danielle, you want to share your final remarks?
Yeah, I just want to say, you know what? Have fun. If you have been single and you've been living your life to the best of your ability, get with someone who will allow you and who will assist you and who will help you continue to live your best life, and just enjoy life with someone. And if you can't enjoy it with someone, enjoy it by yourself. Seriously, just enjoy you until that person comes along.
Yeah, because I love me. The facts on that one. All right, Rashana, you want to share?
Yeah, I would also say be who you are looking for, right? And to a certain extent, but as women, like, a lot of times we have this whole list that we want in a man, and we want him to be this, and we want him to be that, and it's like, sis, have you even checked yourself, right? So, we want him to come all, dressed in gold and be perfect. And it's like, just take some time. Like, and I think that's the repeating message here with a lot of the other ladies. Like, take some time to work on yourself and really be the person that you're looking for. So yeah.
Yes, thank you. Okay, Sammy.
Yeah, so I know we didn't get to talk about marriage much, but as I'm going through a divorce right now, I would say that my tidbit, or what I'm learning, or what I have learned, is to never marry on a promise. Marry someone for who they are in that moment and not who they promise to be. And secondly, I would say always date yourself. Like we've all been saying, always date yourself. Even when you're dating someone else, always date yourself. Go on dates by yourself. Spend time alone. Get to know who you are, and always be fostering that relationship.
That's good.
I love it. That was good. Okay, Kira, and then Noemi.
I just want to reiterate something that Rashana said earlier that I thought was really profound, and I think a really great tidbit to walk away with, which was, how it starts is how it ends. So just be you, be who you are. And as you go through your dating relationship or your courting relationship, take them for who they're representing themselves to be. Whoever they tell you they are, believe them. And generally you'll end up on the right path.
Yes, thank you, Noemi.
I of course again agree with everything that everyone has said. Get to know yourself, know exactly what you want, and prepare yourself for what it is that you're asking for. If you're asking for it through prayer, or if you're looking for it, make sure that you are preparing yourself to receive it, because sometimes God can have someone for us. It can be right in front of our face, and we're not ready to receive it because we may have some things we need to get together as women. And also have fun. Again, get to know people, and don't ignore red flags either. You see them, don't ignore them, and just make sure that your self-esteem and your self-value is where it needs to be, because you can tend to run into people who may not value you because you don't value yourself. So it's just very important to know who you are and whose you are.
Okay, yes, and thank you for our comments that are coming across the screen. So don't make a whole bunch of rules. Yes. Okay, and then Danita, right? You need to share your last tip.
So take your time and discover. There's no rush. Listen to your intuition and see the signs. This whole idea of benefit of the doubt, I'll give him a second try. Believe what happens the first time. And use your discernment in your heart to be like, this may not be right. And love yourself enough to unhook and say, thank you so much. I don't think it's a fit. Good luck on your search. Like my girlfriend would freak out. They'd be like, what? What did you just tell him? You left a voicemail, right? I said, no, I spoke to him. I don't think it's a fit. Good luck on your search. Thank you for dinner last night. I'm very clear. I don't not answer the phone, right? I never do that. I'm straight shooter. But see the signs and watch them. Women's intuition, yes. We
never wrong. Okay.
Listen to your heart. It has every answer you ever needed. And so when you're going through this thing, I'm gonna pitch this book again, Intellectual Foreplay, all the questions we forget to ask before we jump in bed. That's my version, right? You will get a lot of questions you never knew to ask in the discovery stage of getting to know someone. Love yourself.
Yes.
Unhook.
Yes, ma'am. Good luck on your search. Listen, they need to pay you for them plugs on this book. Okay, I know a whole bunch of people order this book. Listen, I'll link y'all. Okay, because we're powerful. We're gonna have to do a part 2. This is just too good.
The Bible.
This is too good. Oh, I love it. And so, I'm gonna share a couple of tidbits and then plug the next couple of events. But this has been a phenomenal hour. Y'all are amazing, and so I hope all the single men watching listen. Did you hear who was single? Okay, you know, shoot your shot now. Shoot your shot. That's all you got. That's all you got. Right? Listen, we're gonna do some hookups, do some matchups. And like I do believe, like, because I made the mistake of falling in love with someone's potential. And so, like, I just promised myself I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not falling in love with someone's potential. I'm going to see the red flag for what it is. When they show me their true colors, I'm going to believe it and keep it moving and keep it moving. So, you know, whoever this husband is, he better be ready to come with it. Okay. And so next, I want to plug next week. So next week's our events for Thursdays. We want you to tune in, okay, at Inez K. Jones on all social media. You can watch on YouTube, you can watch on Facebook, our live streams. And the next event, the flyer is going to pop up here pretty soon, and that is me. Y'all been asking me to sing, so I'm finally gonna sing for y'all, okay? And I'm having an accompaniment my music teacher since I was a baby, y'all, Miss Elsa Harris, and she is a great singer herself and a world-renowned and pianist, and she taught me how to play the piano. So y'all tune in Thursday, okay, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for that. And then on Monday, I have my hashtag Makeup Mondays, and I have a guest, Makita K, is gonna be with me, Inez K, and we're gonna be talking about eye care. So we're gonna give y'all some tips for taking care of your eyes, ladies and men, okay? Because men have skin too. And then we'll also give y'all a few little makeup tips, okay, and tricks. And so if you have missed them, you can watch the replays. You can go back and see them. And if y'all missed the men's version of this, go back and watch the men's, because, you know, they had some points. They had some points. And so, you know, I'm glad that we're able to share our piece, right? And so, like, I love. So, you know, I wish we all just would find our soulmates, right, and be happy. And so I love.
Don't put a time limit on it. You will.
Listen, this little maternal clock of mine is biological clock is ticking, Danita. You know, I'm 34 now. You know, I want some babies. I really do.
Where's the edge? Now, this technology that was never existed before.
I actually might look into that, but thank you. You're right. I'm not rushing it. It's in God's timing. You know, I have come to peace with that, and so I'm just so grateful for all of you all. You women are beautiful. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. You all have played different roles in my life, shifts and sisters and mentors, and I just love you, and you're so dynamic. And so if y'all didn't see the beginning when I did the intro, go back and watch it, okay, and go to their websites, purchase their books, you know, sign up for their businesses, because these women are dope, right, in all aspects. And so I'm a firm believer of networking and sharing information, and knowledge is power. And so we hope that you all learned something this evening on this dating and courting from a woman's perspective with Inez K. Jones. You all have a fantastic evening. Good night. Bye-bye.